I wasn't exactly feeling the best before having that cold shower in terms of just like productivity, just mental state, just feeling like I have my life together. So I was just like, okay, I'll pull out the camera and I'll expose myself for the stuff that I'm not necessarily happy about.
Here is the basket as I ran out of underwear. So let me quickly close this door. Much better. As we turn around, you find this lovely box of Domino's. That was some nachos, I believe. It's been unmade for about 2 days because somebody living in it for about 2 days. As you can see, the view is just delightful. This is my naughty corner. It's where I hide the things that I'm not proud of. Here we have 2 boxes of large Domino's. Also, Tears of the Kingdom has just come out and I've been hiding in my room without anybody knowing about it, playing it. The bathroom. As you can see, I should probably take out the bins. I've got my pull-up bar down because I've been exercising. This toothbrush is making a mess. That also doesn't belong to me. Bunch of stuff. My shower is actually blocked. But yeah, this is the Vagabond's room, and this is the Vagabond himself. So
Okay, so that was clearly a bit of a parody. My room isn't usually this bad, but I just wanted to kind of make a video instantly out of the shower. But yeah, that was just the current state of my room. So the point of this video is actually to talk about how I got in a rut, and I feel like there'll be a lot of maybe relatable things for guys out there, but at the same time, talk about how I'm gonna get out. Because it's not the first time. I think everyone goes through phases, right? So I definitely know how to get out. I never let myself get in too deep, you know what I mean? So let's start with talking about how I actually got in a rut in the first place. I'm not gonna lie, 2023 has been a weird year. It's been really strange. Like, I think I'm just at this stage of my life, I'm 24 for context, where I kind of just don't know the direction I'm going in. I feel like this is so relatable for so many people, especially around this age range. I have so many opportunities that it's almost overwhelming, but at the same time, none of them are necessarily, you know, they're not really giving me the fruits that I need to really fully commit to anything, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, I'm stuck in this weird transitionary period, and I think that just leaves me quite unmotivated for anything I'm doing because it's so uncertain whether it's gonna work or not, whether that's YouTube or any business ventures, even some relationships with people that I have in my life. Like, so many things are uncertain that it makes you wanna do all of it and do none of it at the same time. And I feel like that's just it's such a relatable thing. You kind of just get a little bit overwhelmed. The main thing that you can look at me and see if I'm doing well or not is whether or not I'm doing my pillar habits. I call them pillar habits. I don't know if I've read that somewhere or if that's just something I've made up, but there's certain things that if I do, I'm like productive, healthy, energetic, you know, just a great person to be around in terms of like, you know, I feel like my energy is good. And if I'm not, it's not like I'm like the Grinch, but you know what I mean? Like it's night and day for me, at least my own self-image, that's how it feels. Like, again, I've said they're pretty basic and I feel like this is pretty natural for most people, but food is number one. If my food is off, then my gym is gonna be off and my sleep is gonna be off. And that's a shame because those are my other 2 core pillar habits, that's what I wanna call them. Core pillar habits. So those are the 3 main ones, but then I have a bunch of like supplementary habits, you know, that just kind of like keeps the snowball effect rolling because you do one good thing which turns into 2 good things, you know what I mean? Okay, one thing that I forgot to mention in the video is that it's super important for me to clean up my environment, as my environment is a direct reflection of how I'm feeling. How I look, if I'm looking a bit disheveled, I definitely feel it too. So just by making myself look a bit more presentable and look a bit more comfortable in my own skin, I end up feeling better too. And that brings me to today's video sponsor, Brio, who is here to help me look and feel better. Thank you so much for Brio for sponsoring this video, and that's what I'm gonna go do now. Let's go clear this up. Only kind of lined up because I'm trying to grow it out, but I already feel so much better. It just looks better. Look how sharp that looks. again to Brio for sorting out my face. Links in the description. I haven't necessarily been the best with my core pillar habits this year. I don't want this to sound like I'm not taking accountability for my life, but this year has been a really, really weird year with regards to women for me. Let's just say there's almost certainly a correlation between having women in my life and how productive I'm being and how healthy I'm being. And first 3 months of this year were pretty bad when it comes to this stuff, and I kind of never recovered from that. And again, full accountability on me. It's my responsibility to live the life that I need to be living. However, this is the reason and I'm very aware that this is how it affects me, so I've had to make changes in my life to make sure that this doesn't continue happening. Now, this is how I got into the rut. And I've been in and out kind of a few times, but this time I kind of just felt like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. How do you get out, or how am I getting out? Now, in the short term, there's what I like to call the slap in the face effect. I don't know if you've ever watched cartoons or someone's like drunk or whatever and they're just like, and the guy's just like fully awake all of a sudden. You kind of need that, but without the actual slap. For me, the way that I get the slap in the face effect is just by jumping into the coldest shower I can without thinking about it. Literally just like, cool, rain is turned off, shower as cold as going, and I just jump in, oh fuck, it's cold. And I get a blast, like just a rush of energy go through me, right? And I'm just like, fuck. But all of a sudden, I feel, I know this sounds almost just funny to listen to, but I feel alive, like there's so much sensation. But also, because you're so focused on like, just breathe, just control the cold, whatever, everything else kind of disappears and you forget all this stuff that you overthink of, the piles of overthinking that you've built in your brain just kind of disappear. And I think this is the best short-term way that I've found to kind of just, let's do it. The mentality shift. Oftentimes there's so much that needs to be done that it again becomes overwhelming and you end up doing none of it. It's like you make such an elaborate plan of how and when you're gonna do it and then you just don't even do it. I think the mentality shift has to be where you just do it. And like, you don't have to expect to do all of it, because if that's unrealistic, I don't know your goals or what needs to be done for you, cool, but just start. Because if you start, you're more likely to finish. You're definitely more likely to finish if you start than if you don't start. It might be the case of, okay, I need to start working out. Forget about everything, just start by going to the gym. And I mean that in a literal sense, like just walk there and start picking up the weights and stuff. Once you're there, it's more likely that you do something than if you're at home in bed not doing anything. For me, I mentioned the core pillar habits. It is just a case of do them, like eat the right food, go to sleep at a reasonable time, work out. Like these things it's very basic, but just do them and everything else around the problem will kind of just disappear. You've just got a lot more energy, a lot more motivation. You just feel, I don't know, self-image is such a big thing. If you feel like a piece of shit, you're gonna act like a piece of shit. If you feel like a productive person who, gets shit done and is healthy and just like, you're gonna do that, you're gonna be that person. Basically what I'm trying to say is if there's stuff that affects you personally, like everyone's different, right? For me, one thing is my physical health and my relationships with people. So if my food is off and my physical health is off, then I'm completely off. And the other one is if my relationships with people I care about are off, that, yeah, completely, or toxic, not even necessarily off, completely messes me up too. Just don't put yourself in those positions to begin with. Be smart about it. George, if you're the kind of person who, when you're talking to people, you give them 100% of your attention and just everything, then maybe you should only be talking to the people who it's healthy for you to do that with. What I showed you in my case is
lovely box of Domino's.
Bad by my standards. I'm usually quite a disciplined person, and anyone can be a pretty disciplined person. Just know that it's never too late to turn things around. I think this video was pretty long actually, but hopefully my editor can make it work. This was a little bit more raw. I really just want to make more videos that I'm not talking about hair and beard all the time, because sometimes that just gets tiring. It's not something I'm necessarily passionate to the point where I want my whole life to revolve around it, you know what I mean? It's cool, I'll make videos about it, but there's a lot more to life. Anyways guys, I've been rambling for a while now, so hopefully you guys enjoy this, and peace.